During the break, though, we're talking about Derek Stingley Jr., right? We asked the question, came in the huddle, him on offense, and you had some strong feelings about it.
Well, I don't see the pull for Stingley to be an offensive player for as much as people want to see it. Like, why? To me, he's the best defensive player in college football right now, today. It could have been argued that last season he was the best defensive player for the second half of the season. He takes away 50% of the field before the game plan even begins. Yeah. So for the next 2 years, anybody that's game planning against LSU's defense, against a healthy Derek Stingley Jr., if they have any sense about him, is not even going to look at that side of the field. You chop off 50% of the playing field immediately when he steps on the field. My other reason for him not playing offense would be, who do you sit down? Who do you go to that you recruited at wide receiver and say, you know what, we're going to take a rep away from you to give it to Stingley? We've recruited you. We wanted you to play wide receiver. You're as good, maybe better at the skill as the skill at playing receiver than he is. I mean, like, naturally, Stingley's going to be great at whatever he wants to do. But if he focuses on being a cornerback, which we saw him do last season through high school, he's the best player in America. I mean, he potentially could be the number one pick in 2 years. I am really and truly for taking him off of the punt return team today. I would put Trey Palmer back there. Yeah, Stingley is a Rolls Royce. I don't want him dinged up. I want him on the road as least amount as possible, because I know when he's on the road, he's always going to perform at a high level. Yeah. And I don't want – what would you do, Danny, T-Bob, Sam? Oof. What would you do next season if you're just playing around, goofing around with Stingley and give him a jet sweep and he rolls his ankle and he blows a hamstring, and you think to yourself, just to get him in on offense, now you lose the best player in the country for maybe the entire season? I'm not with it. I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't think that LSU is in a position where they have to use that. They got wide receivers dripping off of the trees over there. Stingley is the best player in America. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with it.
Our guy, Devin Snow, Holden Mayo, shout out for the T-shirts. He says in the huddle that or in that Facebook chat that he would wait another year for Stingley on offense. And maybe that's more interesting, because this year, you're right, dude. You got a Blitnikoff winner. You got Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, but even in 2 years, I'm talking if
yeah, but that requires like
Trey Palmer's got to come in.
Colemore's
got to be a player.
Somebody's got to step up and be a beast.
Yes, I agree. Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton. I mean, Ogeron was speaking specifically to you two guys last segment. I mean, Chad Mahaffey, David Brewerton, go back and play those two guys. That interview from last segment when he says the best two players, the best two wide receivers in the country are leaving this season and we have to replace them. He's speaking about Brian Thomas at Walker and Chris Hilton at Zachary. Those two are local kids, and they are high on everybody's board. Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Georgia. I think Brian Thomas put out his Final Four earlier this week. It's Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU, and Bama. That's his Final Four. I mean, it gives you an idea. Everybody in the country wants him. LSU's got to win. They've got to get that recruit, and he knows it. Ogeron knows it. I mean, when you look at their recruiting board, Thomas and Hilton are too high on that list. And I think if those guys come in, potentially they got a spot to play in 2 years. So
all I'm saying is this year, yes, like you need no help at wide receiver. Potentially, if we don't see some other guys kind of rise to the top during, because McMath will be gone as well, right? I mean, I feel like he's been there forever. He's got to be a senior. Yeah, so him, Marshall, Chase. I mean, you lose those three.
Kirkland's going to be a senior.
Yeah, so a lot of playing time going to be up for grabs. But yeah, either way, dude. Look at Derek Stingley last year as a freshman, right? Sometimes they would avoid him, and that was smart because they didn't get burned. But every time they tried to go after him, he ended up killing you, and that's only going to get better and better and better.